Going live.
All right, we're
back. On.
Welcome, guys. This is the
Thank
Ask
you,
Coach
Jeff.
Mike show. He's a pickleball coach and just an amazing guy. Tonight we have a Naples Pickleball Center partner and teaching professional Ryan Reeder with us. So we're excited.
And a friend of many.
Absolutely.
Welcome, Ryan. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Absolutely appreciate it.
I know you've known Coach Mike for a little while, and you and I have known each other for a couple of years.
Oh,
when he was on the right coast.
That's right. That's right. I'm actually coming back this weekend for my son's birthday, so I'll be over there Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, good. Then you'll see me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the first place I'm coming.
Will you bring some of your paddles? Will play over at my place?
Hey, I will, absolutely. As long as you give me an autograph.
Jeff, you heard that. He's going to be playing over here at our place, so I'm going to let everyone know who's coming.
You always have the best secret locations in all of Florida, so just send me the GPS.
I will.
I have the contract signed, so Ryan will have to be there.
That's it.
All right, Ryan, let's jump right into it. I know everyone's busy, so I want to ask Coach Mike's favorite question. This is how we pretty much kick off every show.
Yeah.
How did pickleball find you, and how many years have you been playing?
That is the best way to start off any broadcast like this. So, and honestly, I feel like everyone should have a "this is how pickle found me" moment. And
sure,
it's such a life-changing game that once you find it, it's just there's so many ways of it just being amazing. So, let's see. Pickle found me. It's a cool story. I was living in Boise, Idaho during my college years, and my mom and dad relocated down to Florida for my father took a job opportunity. And he said, anytime you want to come down to Florida and check it out, come on down. So it's like I was sold instantly with the ocean and just the whole Florida lifestyle. You just think. So I had the opportunity to move down here, and just happened to be in a rec center boating one day and saw a bunch of people playing in a gym. And I walked in the gym like, this is so cool. Like, what are you guys doing? And they had the wooden paddles, and they were super nice, just like how people are now. So, it's funny, back then it was not like it is now, where it's, let me get on Pickle Play, or just, let me just find where to go. It was, you had to do a little bit of research and find where are these people meeting up and what is this game. So, but Pickle found I just a random recs actually here in Estero, so Estero Rec Club, and it was it was awesome. It was one of the coolest moments for sure.
For some people that don't know where Estero is, tell them where Estero is.
Oh, okay, so that's like South Florida, basically, on the West Coast.
West Coast of Florida, right?
Yeah, so near like Naples, Florida, just north of it.
So Ryan, what were you doing previous, and how did you end up working in pickleball?
Oh man, so just I guess the story just always is continuing. So moving from Idaho, I just came out and did the whole Florida thing, the beach, just looking for just kind of an in, or what am I going to do? And so just I did a little bit of pharmaceutical sales, and just mainly sales. I would say I was always about sales is a fun life for just keeping the mind sharp and just waking up. I like that Ari Gold moment. I don't know if you guys follow Entourage or anything, but just that whole like, let's get the day, have a good opportunity, whatever. So pickleball just kind of came in, and just it was the opportunity. So I've lived on both coasts of Florida. From like Jupiter down to almost Miami area, and then like Fort Myers down to Naples. So for me, it was just back and forth with Florida, chasing a beautiful woman who I actually literally just proposed to. I have a fiance now. life is it's a magical time in my life. So chasing this girl around both coasts of Florida, and just a bunch of crazy things. I found out I was gonna have my first son, and was like, man, I gotta grow up now. It's time to really like make something happen here. So
Right.
pickleball was just a game that I'd always played. Just no matter what I was doing, farmers sales, just didn't matter if I. So I was like, maybe I'll get serious about this, find a way to get certified, and then maybe get into coaching, or who knows what would happen. So I actually came over here to East Naples Community Park where the U.S. Open's held, and I got my certification. And then just from there was asked, hey, there's some changes are going to be made if you want to, get involved. Timing is just everything, just impeccable. Sure. So it ended up working out where just could kind of jump into the game that way, and it's unbelievable, life-changing, like beyond blessed. So super cool.
That's awesome. Well, Ryan, one of the things I know, I've taken a couple lessons from you and just played some games, filling in, when you were teaching somebody else. And what I can tell is you always have a passion for the game, whether it's, rec play or teaching or whatever. And it's just wonderful to see, because so many people in life don't enjoy what they do, and I can tell that you absolutely love what you do.
Oh man, it like gives me chills. I like just that statement you made. It really is a genuine vibe. It's when you really sit back and look at it, it's like I pull up into the park every day. I'm like, man, I'm going to work right now, and I'm literally going to step on court and have the opportunity to change someone's life, and just it's just an unbelievable way to live, healthy, competitive, and just you really can inspire people to be better than what they are. So
Hey Ryan, sometimes you would tell me, look what I get to do. I'm coming to this park and I get to teach people. Wait, it gets better. Ryan goes, and they pay me. It's the greatest.
It's unbelievable. So to me, it's awesome. So, and then the people you meet. I mean, Jeff, you're at Naples Pickleball Center all the time, and Mike, you come over throughout the season. I mean, just the people you meet is just unbelievable. How like diverse and such a melting pot Naples is of success, and it's like, man, I want to consume myself. So it's really cool.
Well, somebody once said to me, you found the right profession when you do what you do for free.
Oh, right.
And I think you definitely do that.
It's so true. It's like it's just crazy that like when you if you don't like what's going on in your life, you just find a way to make change. It's like, so it just sounds cliche-ish, but it's like my story is really cool. But then what I find even inspiring too is like you hear people like, I'm going to take that leap and I'm going to try something new, whether it's like teach pickleball or go after that gig. And it's just like these motivational speakers are like, one day on your deathbed, all your dreams die with you. And I think, I don't know who that was specifically, but it's like, that's such a real statement. It's like, man, in the time we live in, it's like, look, if you want to teach pickleball or you want to break out of what you're doing, just commit and see what happens. So it's pretty magical.
Absolutely. So I know you're a great coach. You also play from time to time in tournaments. What do you enjoy more, coaching, playing?
Yeah, so that's such a cool question to answer and kick around. My immediate gut is the whole teaching, the fulfillment I get from that. Like I can't imagine how someone like Mike Krzyzewski or Bobby Bowden, these coaches feel when like their players move on and just reach goals. Like Mike, I'm sure you get the same thing like all the time. I get texts from players, hey, I'm at this regional event in California and I just I won a silver medal. It's all because of our hard work and like your commitment, the fact that you care. And it's like, man, I like that is such a cool. I always take a screenshot of that, and I'm always like, man, these people like they work hard, and you get to like get in the trenches with them and figure out what's going on. So that side of me is coaching. I just feel like how you can communicate and connect with everyone is number one critical, and I just feel like I love that. So coaching is super cool, but then. Just recently I did win the U.S. Open. I had a really awesome partner, Brendan Long. That dude is just a maniac on court. I know you guys know him. He's unbelievable, like a Spartan warrior. This guy's like pounding on his chest, ready to go to battle. But when you have a good partner, someone that kind of lifts you up and you just feel like you're not going to lose, it's like tournament play can become really cool. So I don't play that many tournaments, but I mean, I'm the whole family guy, and this with Naples Pickleball Center, I just love it. I mean, the vibe that we have there. So, but playing is I love watching what's going on with the PPAs and the APP. I think someone's on to something there, and we'll see what
big
happens.
time.
Big time, yeah. So.
Yeah.
Well, you bring up a good point. Obviously, Naples Pickleball Center is the new name. Tell us a little bit about the improvements that are going on. I know you're a partner now. I mean, how did all this stuff transpire?
Yeah, this is all just kind of part of this magical journey. So with like every business, it has life cycles. Someone works super hard to get it to a point, and then it's time to just pass the torch, if you will. So Naples Pickleball Center was Pickleball Academy of Southwest Florida, and this past season we went through a whole rebranding. So we actually have it's Naples Pickleball Center in the pickleball capital of the world, and then we also have the academy is really the training academy. So what we call the training academy, and really the whole goal with what I saw was we have all these people that come play at this unbelievable. Really, someone used the term iconic. It really is an iconic venue. We have the championship courts with the covered tent, which is unbelievable. If you've never been there, you come check it out. You go, oh my goodness, this is awesome! Like center court at Wimbledon. You walk the grounds. There's 64 courts, water by some of the courts. I mean, it's really unbelievable. It's like just the place to play pickleball. It really is the pickleball capital of the world. So we went through a whole life cycle here, and our number one goal at Naples Pickleball Center is about being member centric and thinking, hey, if you're a member at NPC, we want you to feel value. We want you to feel the love. I mean, like this is like, look, we play at the pickleball capital of the world, and we're just, this is it. So for me, it's been really awesome to watch this whole everything change. Like I feel like there's always something happening at NPC. That park just in general is like one day they're going to do a documentary on it. It's going to be unbelievable. But watching just the progress from here to here has it's been really fun to be a part of. So Naples Pickleball Center is the new brand of where we're going, the direction that we're owning, and it's just it's just designed to be truly member centric and build value. That's our number one goal.
Ryan, for some of the folks that are listening that are newer to the sport, they don't know where East Naples Community Park is. Could you tell them, give them a little idea? It is a park. It's a public park. So just let them know.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Transition. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So East Naples Community Park is where the U.S. Open's held every year. And I've got to say it's, in my eyes, in my perspective, it's the best place in all of the world to play pickleball. I'm a little biased, but it's
a little bit.
I mean, but the thing about it is, like, whether I'm biased or not, you have to come. It's like, for me, one of my bucket list goals is to go to Wimbledon and see like center court, or just, I mean, the energy at Wimbledon has got to be world class. So, like our goal is the Augusta of pickleball. That's like someone has coined, kind of used that term of, and if you go there, I mean, you see what's happening, the expansion of the road, just the value that is being added. Even right now, we're doing a brand new welcome center. So if you go there, it's like, it reminds me of the Big Dig. Remember that project in Boston? I mean, how do you not? It went on forever, right? But it's like, it feels like, it's just, it's exciting to see a bunch of changes happen. This new welcome center is going to be just beyond world class. And so so the facility, East Naples, is the largest facility for pickleball in the entire world right now, with the amount of courts, and then just just the excitement happening.
Well, Ryan, I'm scheduling a trip in August back to Maine, and I don't take this for granted, because I think, okay, where am I going to play up there that has permanent nets?
Right.
That's the reality, and here you have 64 dedicated courts. It's just incredible.
At least you'll be able to get a really,
Ryan.
What's that?
How many did they have when they first started at the park?
9. It was, Yep.
Wow.
So it's just been I mean, just the best part is the county's fully on board. They see the vision. I mean, it's just, people come to Collier County specifically for pickleball. I mean, you get people looking at houses saying, hey, do they have pickleball courts? I mean, it's just, it's like NFL Sunday. It's become a religion. It's just unbelievable. So
Sure
it's
it is.
fun to watch, just not the growth, worldwide, but just even in Naples, it is like, I mean, it's the thing to do in Naples, so it's pretty cool.
Would it be fair to say almost everywhere you go out to eat, there's people talking about pickleball at the restaurant?
It's so funny. You see pickleball shirts at the
Right.
pool. I mean, you'll run into people all the time. Like,
Right.
I've had the funniest stories. Like, just run into people on Fifth Avenue or just everything. It's pretty cool. So,
Downtown, right? Yeah.
downtown, yeah, absolutely.
All right, Ryan, you talked about some of the improvements. I have to touch on this one.
Okay.
I saw this about a month ago with senior pros Jennifer LaCour and Alex Hamner coming on as
Right.
co-directors of training. I mean, a
Okay.
lot of people don't know them. I mean, they're
Right.
about as highly decorated as anybody in the sport. Weren't they
Sure.
like the trailblazers, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, that is well said. I mean, it's they're even in the Hall of Fame, which is
Mhm.
pretty cool to know that pickleball definitely has a Hall of Fame. So, um, and their energy is beyond electric. I mean, they just have the best fun. They know pickleball. They've been around. Like, I thought I played a long time and like put the time into the game, but they're two iconic individuals. They have great vision. So they're one of the best additions, I feel like, for the movement, the vision moving forward, adding value. It's exciting. So, and they happen to be just really good at the game. So it's pretty cool.
So will they be in Naples from time to time, or how's that going to work out?
That's the plan, right? They're going to be in Naples from time to time, for events, and then around the U.S. Open. So, and then who knows? I mean, Naples has this allure that makes you, when you come enough, maybe you end up moving, maybe you don't, but it just has this like excitement of, I live in Naples, Florida, and it's pretty cool.
It is cool. So as a coach, instructor, teaching professional, what level of player do you like to work with the most? Do you like to, the new, the brand new,
Yeah,
somebody
right.
who's trying to move on? I mean, what do you have a niche, or, how do you
Yeah,
approach
so
that?
um, I've always been the guy to play with. I always talk about spectrums. I feel like you define, if this is the drive and this is the drop, where's the needle for the day? Maybe it's all over the place. But
Sure.
to be honest with you, I love day one players because you can just make it so fun that there's no way they leave that court going, well, I didn't have fun. They're always like, man, I wish this hour can't be over, or whatever, I mean, it's just, so it's super exciting. Like today, I had today at the park there, there was like 15 NFL players. One of the guys that comes is a NFL agent. He brought a bunch of his players down. So there was a second round draft pick there, a fifth round draft pick, and it was just cool to watch these guys. I mean, they're just giants, like guys you don't see these guys normally, and you're like,
The size of a door.
lean in, take the ball. You're like, so but they had the best time. So like a moment like that was super cool, and then it's just fun to I mean, you see just like the Cubs have built a core. I mean, it's just cool to watch this new vibe of, like, I love the game. So I love that. But then, like, out for our park, we have like a 4.0 rating. Like, Jeff, like, to go back to the 4.0 courts, you do have to have, like, be able to show that you're 4.0. So for me, working for a player on that level or breaking into 4.5, just watching the ability to handle the ball, and just the strategy talk when you can get really deep into, like, take the fifth shot out of the air and try, like, come on, like, like, stay on the gas. Like, I mean, it's fun to develop a skill where someone is like, look, I played satellite tennis, now I want to play pickleball, and they're two different games, but there's that certain level of skill that can be fine-tuned and developed. My phrase for that is, you got to get pickleized. So once you get pickleized, you're good to go. So I guess I like either one, but if deep down, if I had to be really true, I'd probably say the higher level player. So you can just, you can, it's fun to be able to kind of go all out a little bit.
That's fantastic. So Ryan, let's get serious for a minute. Who has been the biggest influence in your life?
So, man,
Yeah.
I love that question. You guys have
It's
you
hard
guys
to
must
pick
have
just
thought of these
one
questions
person, isn't it?
before.
It's
It's
hard
like
to pick one person.
oh man, it's so hard. It's like the light's getting brighter, but I love it. No, but so the easiest answer to that question, 100%, 1,000,000,000%, is definitely my father. There's no question. I mean, I would say my parents for sure, but just my dad, the one that taught me how to throw a ball and would get us custom jerseys for all the team in baseball, and just I mean, just the now that I'm a father, I'm sitting back and going, man, this is so cool, and just Happy Father's Day to both of you guys. I know
Yeah,
it's
you as
that was
well.
a pretty
Right
cool
back
day
at
for
you.
sure.
You
So
big dad, you got two now, right?
I do. So my life is it's on. It's on right now. So
I'm going to tell you guys, listen, I didn't meet Ryan that long ago. And he was in a different profession where there's cards involved, and he was very passionate. He did very well. And
yep,
then, he says, I'm going to do something. I'm going to get into the medical sales, and gets a crazy great job in the medical sales because he's very passionate at
yeah,
whatever he does. And then the next conversation, Mike, I'm going over to Naples to talk about what?
yeah,
Oh, by the way, I'm going to have a kid. Oh, by the way, I have a second kid. So
yeah.
things are happening so quickly for you. And I just want to throw it out there. But look, you're very calm.
Oh yeah. Well, I
Good
mean,
for you.
you enjoy these moments, and then you get them all out of the way, and then you can just coast. So adding one more into it. So I just did this whole proposal, right? Um, so what and Jeff, I might have told you about it or not,
You
but
did.
I had this whole thing planned for like almost 2 months, right? And when you plan something of this magnitude, it's like it plays tricks in your own head sometimes. So
Oh,
I
no, she might say no.
or yeah, right. You start to play this whole like, oh man, what's going like craziness. So I designed this ring for her and everything, right? And then I also got us pre-approved for a house. So right now, on top of everything we're doing, we're also home shopping, even though it's a crazy market and we've learned a lot about home buying.
Good for you.
A whole little splash, like slam dunk of let's get married, and also here's the second like surprise, we're pre-approved for a home, and it was just like I mean, it was one of the coolest
Good,
moments of all time.
good.
So yeah, it was really cool.
That's really cool. Well, we touched on this next question a little bit, but many would say that Naples is some of the best pickleball in the world. Is that why you're in Naples? I mean, obviously with your skill and ability, and as Mike talked about your passion, you could be in Arizona. You could probably
Right,
be, anywhere, California,
right.
teaching and
Yeah.
tell me, why
Yeah,
Naples?
I'm not gonna lie. I definitely have had other opportunities to like talk. Hey, let's talk this through and see if this might work out. And I mean, with the game of where it is, I mean, there's so many changes happening all the time of like, hey, this opportunity's here, but I got to be honest, like I do it. Like Naples is it's changing. Like I mean, there's hip restaurants popping up. There's this place called like Celebration Park that's like the fun vibe of like food trucks on the
Hmm.
water.
Hmm.
Um, so I love Naples, and I kind of see like the future of it. I love being in where like with this project that I'm involved in. I mean, it really is. It's taught me so many lessons that it's just like lifelong lessons in just a short amount of time. So I feel I'm a great fit for where I am, and it's just nice being like 10 minutes from the ocean that you can just, hey, if anything's going wrong, it's just boom, you're in the ocean. So it's a major blessing to be here. I encourage everyone to come to Naples and check it out. You might
It's
not
not
be
bad having mom and dad on the East Coast either. It's a short drive.
right. Yeah, that's huge too. So like, I mean, this is going to be our first trip this weekend with both kids. So we're like packing everything in our
Oh
house,
boy.
trying to get it in the Jeep, but
Sure.
yeah, they're 2 hours away. It's not too bad, and it makes it pretty simple. So we're
No
pretty.
way I'm going to get you on a pickleball court. That's not going to happen.
Oh man, I mean, I might sneak out. I might sneak out. We'll
Okay.
see.
Okay. Okay.
I,
All right. So let's switch gears a little bit. You see a lot of the pros coming up now from the tennis, community in
mhm,
pickleball. So, and I know as I was coming through, at 3-0, 3-5, they'd say, okay, you start out with all bangers, and then as you get into 4-0, you start, dinking, and now, with the tennis players coming up through, you see a lot of top level players driving the ball.
right.
What are your thoughts on dinking versus driving, and some of the top level players?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I feel like the way I answer this question is like this, or I like to start this answer or begin to try to answer is like this. In football, you guys know, everyone knows the West Coast offense is very explosive, shotgun, drop back, launch the ball. So you use like the pass to set up the run. Whereas like other teams would use the run to set up the pass, right? So it's kind of almost the same idea. Are you going to pass the ball to then be able to run it down the throat, or are you going to run the ball to be able to pass the ball, right? And neither one is necessarily right or wrong, but it's just the style that you choose, or maybe the player, the skill set, right? So that's kind of a neutral answer. I'm on the side, if you are accurate enough to drive the ball, I'm on the side to say let's go ahead and green light it. The problem is I feel like people watch pickleball for the first time. They're like, oh man, these guys, they are hitting the ball hard. I'm gonna go out and do that. But what they don't know is all the hours of drilling and just commitment to saying, hey, they've hit thousands and thousands of drives and missed like some guy said the other day, I've missed more shots than you'll ever take. It's like, and that is like the pro level or the YouTube level, or when you watch the PPAs, you see these guys driving and they're very accurate, rarely miss, and they understand the contact point. So, but if they had to drop the ball, they could drop 1,000 balls in a row and probably not miss. So I feel like you have to respect both sides, and that's that whole spectrum again. It's a drop versus the drive. If you can't hit, 20 drops in a row under pressure, then it's almost like you haven't even really earned the drive. So it's like, why would you move on to that? But then it's like you get frustrated and you say, hey, I'm just going to drive the ball, and then you just miss the drive. But to the players starting out, I say, hey, you got to just keep hitting more balls, right? Just hit. But I think to the experienced player, the one that understands where to drive the balls to create a pop up, I'm on the side of let's light that ball up and let's do it. But I'm also, Florida is a first striking style. Like, we're going to strike first. Florida, that I feel like that's where the term banger came from. But down here in Florida, we're like snipers. We're very accurate. So I'm on that drive side.
I like that. That's a great answer. So, the West Coast offense, the drive and the dink set each other up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Remember those Kurt Warner days in St. Louis, the greatest show on turf. So
until they got taken down, right?
That's it. That's right.
By TB12.
We're going to start competing the East Coast against the West Coast. It's going to happen soon.
Drives only.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay.
All right. How about this one? Do you think that pickleball can be an Olympic sport? Do you see a time where there'll be more, more major sponsors, bigger tournament purses, and that sort of thing? Do you think we're headed in that direction?
Yeah, I feel like it's all about progress, like defining progress. Every time you open up Facebook, you see a new facility being built, or maybe a new sponsor in the game, and that's just happening so rapid. I think it's important that a few strong sponsors come in the game, like major iconic sponsors. Maybe like it'd be cool to see like Rolex get involved, or something of that magnitude, where you're like, okay, you sit back and go, okay, that's a great progress point. But I feel like you have to understand, like, for it to work, in all honesty, like the USAPA needs to be more transparent about the goal of the whole game to everyone. Like Congress. Who knows what goes on in Congress? But if you wanted to learn, you could know. So it's like, to me, in all honesty, like, for the game to continue to develop, everyone has to be in sync, on board, and say, look, what are our progress points? And the answer to your question, Jeff, is yes, 100%. I feel like there will be bigger sponsors. The game will be in the Olympics. One of the cool things I was involved with down here on a project that I kind of picked up and helped carry through was the Special Olympics. And we got pickleball involved in the Special Olympics, like the second year I was involved. And it was such a cool event. We went to ESPN Studios. They had this like awesome firework display, and it was beyond expectations. And just, Disney does a good job. So tying pickleball, ESPN, and Disney together was really cool. So for the games or for pickleball to be in the real games, like the every year Olympics, I feel like it's absolutely on track. I feel like the growth. I mean, I don't know any exact information, but I see like why would it not be in the Olympics is the question. It's like I mean, it's just such an exciting game. I feel like with the more drives and like the more control, more people playing, it's becoming exciting to watch pickleball. It's not just ding, 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 ding. It's like let's get this point going. So I feel like the yes is the answer to all your questions. And I had this conversation today. So my son's 3, and I trained this junior who's he's 15 right now. He's a super good player. And then there was another kid there that was like 25. So in the next 10 years, it's like that 25-year-old will be like in my shoes, then that kid will be in his shoes, and then my son will be in that kid's shoes. So it's like it'll be cool to see in 10 years what like really that's not a long time, but it almost feels like a long time. But in 10 years, where will the game be? It's like I mean, it's as big as we want it all to be. So I feel like everyone has big sights.
How young are you, Ryan? How young are you?
I'm 35. 35.
Jeez.
35 and strong.
Well, maybe
right. So we talk about this in all the shows. How do people stay healthy longer so they can be playing when they're in their 70s and their 80s? Yeah. I coach a guy here every week. He's 82.
Wow, that's big time.
Plays amazing, great drives. He's a 4 handicap in golf. What's he doing? He says, "Oh, I drink a lot." I go, "That's real funny." But I mean, we talked about that on the show because you say to yourself, "I'm 35. I want to be a strong player at 65."
Sure, absolutely. There's no question. And so, I mean, it is what you do outside of the lines is just as important inside. I know you guys are all about Mike. You do the craziest stretches ever. I know that tournament in Vero Beach I was at. That I feel like I won it because you helped stretch out my shoulders. So it was like, but you have to. I mean, yoga is a big part of it. Just whatever. You guys know how to take. I mean, just take care of you. Do the right things, and I think you win some medals at 70 plus.
Fantastic. I love it. All right. So I was having a conversation the other day and somebody said to me, "Jeff, why don't the pros just have their own tournaments? Like they do in, golf or tennis or some of these." So, what do you think about that? I mean, what are your thoughts?
Two sides of the coin, I guess, when it comes to something like that I think of right away is there's not many sports or games that you can get involved in that you are right next to the pro or even almost on the court with the pro. It's like you look at basketball, you're not going to get a pickup game next to the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, it's just so to me, it sounds really cool to have an all pro event. I think that at some point there will be that. I think once the pro division as a whole grows, and I think you get top 100 that are very competitive or whatever, I mean, it's like you look at the tennis draws right now, you could watch a 3rd round match and it's very enticing. It's exciting match, because all the top 300 in the world are really good athletes. And I mean, the pro division is definitely growing. It's progressing and getting stronger. But once we get to that next generation of, maybe then you look at all pro tournament. But for now, I think a lot of these people are just so intrigued by going, oh man, there's some pros next to us as we're playing. Like I think I saw at the U.S. Open, there was a pro match going on, and then maybe a 3-5 or whatever match going on, and they're like watching the pro match like right there, like courtside seats at the Lakers or something, and it's just like I think that's a really cool synergy for what pickleball is, but it's probably inevitable once those bigger sponsors come in and it makes sense that it's a real career path, and it really we're like right there. But I feel like it will be just all pro events at some point. So I think it's just important that the fans can enjoy that. Like if you show up to watch a pickleball match, is it going to be 40 minutes of dinking? But I mean, still, it's trending there for sure. There's no question.
Cool.
Well, we all know there's 6-0 players for people that are also just tuning in or just watching. We all know that it goes up to 5-0s, and the 5-0s then become the pro players because they're playing for money and they're sponsored.
Right.
So some of those pros are 6-0, considered a 6-0 player. And that's where some of these questions come into us, Ryan, about, can we just watch a 6-0 match? I said, well, there's not a lot of 6-0 players yet.
Right. And see, that's kind of what I feel like if you had 50 strong 6-0s or whatever, I mean, like just to make it kind of like this, that 6-0 level is really exciting to watch. I mean, they're doing everything correct. the anticipation and ball control. I mean, so I feel like once you get a strong field, and it's like, man, why would you not? I mean, I think that's kind of that's the direction that we're heading for sure. So it's fun to see the structure take place.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun at the Open, just getting ready for your own match, and you look over and there's Simone and Ben Johns and some of the others, not on center court, just on one of the
Right.
the side courts at East Naples. And I think one of the best matches I saw the entire time was a pro losers bracket game. It was just absolutely amazing, mesmerizing. It was on like court 23 or something like that. It was really cool.
It's so cool. Like that's the thing about pickleball is just like I mean, it's really fun to see that the pros are very interactive and just I mean, willing to be. I mean, it's such a lifestyle game that it's just, I mean, it's more than magical. And the ones that don't know pickleball, I mean, it's just once they get into it, they go, okay, I get it. It's more than just really a game. It's like it just changes on it, and that's kind of an outcome of the pro level just being so cool right now and wanting to be involved. I really feel like it's like you get coaching and playing, and you see these guys how they coach, they play that way, and it's a really exciting time in pickleball. There's no question.
So Ryan, just to add to that real quickly, I have the luxury of knowing a few national racquetball players, 5 years in a row, and they're considering the sport. They're telling me, Michael, everyone's so different. Everyone's so nice. Everyone's so engaging. Everyone's so willing to bring you on the court, give you a ball, a paddle. And he said, from the sport he came with, and I did play a lot of high-level racquetball, and people weren't so nice. It's just you go onto the court, and before you go on, like I'm playing against Ryan, and Ryan would say, "Oh man, Mike, your girlfriend was great last night. Go, you serve first." That kind of stuff in your head,
Yeah, right.
Not to be disrespectful, but I just don't get that in pickleball ever. Everyone's nice. Someone gets hurt, they stop the game, they run over, see how they're doing.
Right. Yeah.
I just had to throw that in there because I know we've all played very high level competitive sports, and it's very different. And I think that's one of the many reasons why it's just growing so fast. It's still growing.
Yeah, it really is like it's exciting to watch what's going to continue to transpire and how the game changes, and who's going to want to get involved, and it couldn't be more exciting. So it's why I wake up every day and go play. I mean, and then the stories at the park when you hear people like the saying, like, man, we came to this mecca and people are so nice, and skill levels are broken down, and you guys have events and stuff we can do. So it really is like an adult playground. So you get these people playing, like here in Naples, Jeff, some people are playing 3 times a day. I mean, it's just like, it really is a religion. It's just, and it's so healthy for people. You see these bodies change, and people just feel good to say, hey, I'm working
mentally, they're different people.
Right. So it's just like, who would have thought you have something to work towards at, 50 plus, 60 plus years of age, but you get these guys training so hard. It's like, what a game. So.
Yeah. And I know him, Ryan, but there's a gentleman that has Parkinson's that comes out. I think he's gone for the summer, but just to see him, that's what excites him, gives him life, and he enjoys the heck out of it.
Yeah. It's an exciting game for sure. There's no question.
I was scrolling through pickleball tournaments a day or so ago looking for something, and man, there's a tournament, 15 or 16 tournaments every single weekend around the U.S. It's amazing.
What's great is that it's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge, because obviously the whole world went through a situation that just radically changed life forever. And so it's nice to see pickleball kind of come back, and people humanity needs something like pickleball, and it's like, just happens to be, that's what it is. So, we just all keep doing our part and enjoying it. And one day sit back and say, man, look at this game's in the Olympics, or who knows.
Sure. I know during COVID, Ryan, I was coaching in people's garages, out in their driveways.
That's awesome.
They're like, Mike, we can't not do this. What can we do? I said, well, we'll get some tape. We'll tape up your garage. We'll get little mini nets. And we were out in the streets. The neighbors found out about it. It was great.
That's awesome. Yeah, we did kind of the same thing. We got one of those like nets, portable nets, and just we did the whole garage gym thing, which is really cool. So it's just, it's it's fun stuff. So
Good, good.
Well, the good news, NPC wasn't closed that long, so we
no, it really wasn't. That was the best part. Is I mean, just Florida. It's Florida itself is a really nice place to live, just amongst what's all going on. So it's another blessing in itself.
absolutely. Well, Ryan, these 40 minutes have flown by, and
They
we
have. They
thank you
really
so
have.
much. Anything
It's
else?
almost like a
I'm sorry,
hours
Mike.
over already. We just got
I
started.
know. Well, it's like time can't be real.
Right.
Well, Ryan,
Wait,
we'll
so I gotta throw this one thing in. I just got a text message while we're doing this show. One of the gals that lives here, she goes, Michael, I did my first Ernie.
Oh man, that's
And
awesome.
that's like great. Your students are so excited that they learned what an Ernie was. And when I started with this group here, they never heard of Ernies,
That's so cool.
ATPs. They wouldn't do any of that stuff because no one ever helped them. Truth
Yeah.
be told, Ryan, I know you know this as well as anybody. There's about 300 people that play pickleball here. It's a private community.
Well, yeah.
No one ever spoke about a tournament. The last 3 local tournaments, no less than 24 people from this development went and played in different areas. That's exciting.
Cool. Yeah, well, that's the progress right there. That's the that's the defined progress needed, and that's great. That's really so cool to hear that. That is a shot that you would be teaching to a new group, like, hey, we're gonna hit Ernie's around the post.
What's an Ernie?
Like, we're gonna make it exciting here.
And the greatest part is you tell them initially, and you know this, Ryan, when you hit that ATP and the people are going to watch you go around that net, they're going to look at you and they're going to turn their head like, what are you doing? Oops, too late.
Yeah, that's right. That's what happens.
And then we hear them say, that's not legal. You can't do that.
Right. Like, I love it.
Right.
That's
great
so
fun.
cool.
Jeff, you have anything else for Ryan? Maybe Ryan's got something for us that he wants to share.
Yeah, those of you that are just joining us, we're talking to Ryan Reeder. He's down here in Naples at Naples Pickleball Center. He is a partner at the center, and he's also a teaching professional. So as you head out, Ryan, anything else you want to share before you leave us?
The only thing I'm going to say is, look, if you haven't been to the pickleball capital of the world, you've got to get down here. This season, we have some unbelievable things lined up. I'm not going to give them away here, but I look forward to seeing everybody on the courts. It's going to be a magical year. There's no question.
All right, Ryan, how does somebody get in touch with you or Naples Pickleball Center?
Either email. We have a new website that's being launched. It's fantastic.
Throw it out there.
It's npcpcw.com. So that's Naples Pickleball Center, pickleball capital of the world.com. And we have a really awesome advertising agency and creative group putting it together. They're doing unbelievable things for us. Just it really is one of those iconic places that if you've picked up pickleball or you just want to have a cool destination type vacation, that's the place to be.
I'm sending some friends to Naples, and I want them to get a hold of you. What's the fastest way to reach you?
I shoot me an email or text message. You can give always just my number. Everyone knows my number.
You give it right now.
My phone. All right, so you can just shoot me a text at 239-823-6085.
There you go. It's that easy.
That's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Right. And if you're not happy with his coaching session, you don't have to even pay. How's that?
Hey, listen.
It'll never happen, but you'll love the coaching session.
Coach might guarantee. I like it.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. We know how busy you are with 2 relatively young ones and coaching a lot and just being an amazing guy. So thank you so much. We appreciate
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me on the show, and I'm excited to see where this goes. And you guys are awesome. So
thanks, Ryan. Have a blessed day, brother.
Again.
All right. Thank you. All right.
All right, Coach Mike. That was awesome.
Jeffrey's in charge. He's handling all the buttons. There we go. What a great kid.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's come a long way from where when I met him, he just was learning pickleball. And now he's at one of the top places in the country, helping run that place. So got to feel good. And 2 kids, house, and the business is growing. And I know you're there. You're there, what, every 5 days a week?
4 or 5 days a week. Absolutely.
Great.
What was funny is, Coach, yesterday I went to the court. I got my shoes on. I stepped on the court and it started pouring. drove 4 miles back here to our place, and we didn't have any rain. So I invited 3 guys over, and we got our pickleball in over here. So
Of course. It's like food for you, isn't it?
it's amazing. It's just such a great game, and
It's just
with a competitive athletic background, it's something I can do. As I tell people when I got here, I had 2 choices. I could either play golf, because God knows there are plenty of golf courses here,
lots of golf, sure.
or I could play pickleball. Well, I
Or
suck at
tennis,
golf. I suck at golf. Let's be
shuffleboard.
honest. Well, those are the 2 I got excited about. So I gave my golf clubs away and ended up with a pickleball paddle. And I
Nice.
couldn't be happier.
Fair trade.
All right, let's ask the coach a few questions. So,
Sure.
how about pros? Who is your favorite pro to watch, and why?
I have a few, but listen, I'm a Selkirk guy, so I'm biased. I think Tyson's insanely one of the best players in the world. And I think he'll still be one of the best players in the world for a while. He trains really hard all the time. And now he has a core of guys that he trains with. And for the folks that are out there trying to get a little bit better, you want to find that little core. Not necessarily just play with those guys, but when you're drilling, when you're training, you want to have those people that you can bounce off of and that can challenge you and stretch you a little bit further. And I know, Jeff, when you first started, you were playing with anybody. You just wanted to play. And now it's a normal transition. You're probably getting a little bit more pickier of who you're on the court with, and you've earned your way, right, to the higher level courts. And just to give Ryan another plug, it's very organized over there at the courts. It's not a free-for-all. Most of the public courts that you go to, it's a free-for-all. If you're not coming with your own group, it's likely you won't even get invited in to play if you come there by yourself. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah,
Happens
absolutely.
all the time, everywhere.
Well, and what's interesting is some places have like a beginner and an advanced, and who's a beginner, who's advanced. At Naples Pickleball Center, they have 2025, they have 30, they have 35, and they have 40 plus. So they really do a nice job. And I remember when I was a 3.5 and trying to sneak back to the 4.0 courts, and before I got rated, they said, you can't play here, and I was upset. But what I understood when they told me is, a lot of the better players were, having people that, weren't as skilled show up out back, and they were leaving and going to other places. So,
Sure.
I certainly understood that.
Sure.
But in saying that, I enjoy playing with, I'll play with anybody. I just like to play the game. When I play with somebody that, it may not be as great a match, I try to work on some different things. And
There you go. Now you're
better.
talking. Be more technical.
All right, how about mindset? This is maybe an area that's overlooked, and in my opinion, it's probably maybe as important as anything else. So when you go into a tournament, or somebody's headed into a tournament, what do you think about mindset, and how important is that?
That's a loaded question because my mind's way different than a lot of other people's minds. And you're right. Your preparation is going to be different. Your nutritional plan would be different. Your routine of stretching, not stretching, being prepared for it. And for me, I get prepared when really it comes time to get on the court. I'm not that guy that's so concerned about who we're playing, right? What time we're playing. Most of my partners will do all that for me. They'll let us know where we're going to be. I get prepared just before it's time to get on the court. I mean, yes, we'll go and we'll dink and we'll find the court and we'll get loose and we'll do our drills. But there's a lot of other people that have specific regiments of what they do. There's some people, they won't even put their shoes on until they get to the court. There's some people that have their routine of what they do and how they prepare. And everyone has a different setup. But if you were saying for someone else that's maybe getting into tournaments, finding a good fit for a partner is probably the hardest part. And that's what happens. You go to more tournaments, you meet more people, you're out there more. And that's when you start finding your niche. And some people travel 2 hours just to get a good workout in. When you are living in a place where there's courts everywhere, not just at East Naples Community Park, but at all the private developments, they all have courts. There's always games going on. So you'll never be without pickleball there. And it's different depending where you live. Some people, in order to get a good game, have to travel 2 hours. And I know from for my geographic location, there's not a lot of high level players close to where I live. 3, 4 guys. We have to travel. We go down south or we go north and go west. It's still, for me to you, is at minimum 3 hours. It's a long ride.
Right.
So I have to get better friends, like guys with helicopters, stuff like that. Oh, that's right. I have one.
Well, let's dig into that a little bit more. When I talk
Sure.
about mindset, coach, I'm talking about, what you're thinking up here. And
Okay.
I personally on the court, I'll get frustrated with myself, but I leave it just like that.
Right.
So,
A good suggestion, and you and I talked about this, was you finished your shot. It's not the shot that you wanted. You have to just move on. I mean, it's in the past. You got to now get back to the line and get set up wherever you're going to be, get ready for the next shot, and maybe start focusing more on all the great shots that you made in that last game, even if you didn't win. Don't make every game about the score and the points. Now, somebody else might be arguing, what do you mean? Mike, you go out there, you don't go to win every game? No, I don't. I'm not at that place in my life where I need to be winning every game. I'm coaching much more than I play. I rarely play. So for me, it's more of how am I helping other people by the way I am on the court, and how do I play on the court? Jeff, if you're playing with some little bit lower level players and the ball's up here where you like it, like 7 feet in the air, where you love it, are you going to slam it at them all the time? Or you have a choice now to make a nice controlled finesse shot. And that's the mindset. Teaching yourself, hey, before that ball comes to me, if that comes in at my favorite spot, I can make all these different kind of shots, and teach people that you don't have to rip every shot. And then, like you said, Ryan was talking earlier, ripping the ball is still something that people like to see when they're watching on tournaments. But you and I are talking about rec play.
Right.
And how do you graduate to the point where you can feel confident, not worrying about who's on the other side of the net? You play your game, your steady control game. I know when I saw you at the last tournament, you were frustrated because out of the gate, you were probably hitting shots that you knew better. I know I don't have to do that on this shot. Why am I winding up? It's because of your head not being in the right place. And when you plug that in your head, guess what? It rolls right down into your hand, and then it's in your paddle. So you're right. Your mindset's huge. And the calm, listen, I kid around. I say to myself all the time, mellow Mike, mellow Mike, mellow Mike. Why? Because I need to tell myself, and everyone has their own little mindset that they plug themselves into. And some people are so confident, they don't have to think about it anymore. They've done it thousands and thousands of times. But when you're a newer player and you're learning, you need to get yourself to that point where I love my serve. Serving is my favorite thing to do, or whatever it is for you. So you don't think, oh, geez, I got to serve. I hope I make my serve in. Jeff, and then you break it down like you told me, one thing at a time, chunk it down. And if you're struggling with 5 things, just do one thing. Just get one thing down, and it becomes a habit, the new habit. So there's my mindset, to just get into a routine, your routine that fits for you. Now, we have people that play pickleball, they wear 2 different shoes all the time. Maybe that's what they need. It puts them in a good mindset.
I love it.
How about for you? Do you have a routine, Jeff, before you go into a tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I actually listen to music.
Okay.
I don't put my shoes on until I get to the court.
Told you.
I go with my flip flops, and that's also when when I'm done for the day, I quickly put my flip flops on, and someone say, hey, you want to even rec play? You want to play? No, I'm done.
Well, look down at my feet. Do I have my pickleball shoes on? Something like that.
Exactly.
But you're right. I'm with you, Jeff. I do the same thing. I want to be relaxed as long as I can and stay in that mode. Bring it to the court. Good. How about drinking the day before? Do you do that?
Yeah, it's important.
Good.
Always have that water handy.
Great.
Try to track that. And lately, I don't know about the East Coast, but it has been darn hot and humid over here.
Brutal. 90 something every day. Humidity's thick.
Through the roof. So
yeah,
obviously
so
it's
extra
important to drink
hydration.
even more.
Yeah.
All right. I know we're closing in on the top of the hour.
Yes,
we didn't
sir.
get a chance to answer any questions, but next week we'll make sure we carve out some time to ask you questions that we're getting from listeners. So this one's kind of interesting. Last week, the Waters talked about signing a deal with the PPA, Professional Pickleball Association. What do you think? Obviously, there's also the APP. what do you think it'll take to bring them together? Because you have somebody the caliber of the Waters, and they can only play in 3 non-PPA tournaments, and then you have the APP probably have some similar contracts there, and so you might not get the best players week in and week out playing against each other. Where do you see that headed? Do you think that will happen?
I may not be the proper authority to answer this question because I'm not as involved as many other people that could be listening. But if I was to have to answer that question, here's PPA and APP, 2 competitors, so to speak. I don't see them joining forces. I see them growing in different directions. And imagine you're a 19-year-old kid and I say, listen, I want you to use my paddle or join APP or PPA. I'm going to send you a check for $50,000. What's the kid's going to say, fine, where do I sign? That's more of what's started. And there'll be more of that. We both know that.
Right.
And that's why we're seeing some of the parents that I help coach their kids. And they said, Michael, well, he's going into tennis, and tennis is really hard to get up there. And right now, pickleball is much easier to grow, quicker and faster. And they're seeing it. And some of the kids are more fortunate. Oh, we talked about the Waters. The daughter's been homeschooled. And let me tell you, super, super sweet girl, very smart, and incredible athlete, as we all know. And she may not be exposed to all that negative environment that you do at public schools. I don't know. But she has a phenomenal foundation from grandpa and mom and dad. They're wonderful people. All that makes a difference with these younger kids. That's the future of pickleball. Not me. I'm old fart. I'm on my way out. So I'm gonna do probably much more coaching, but I want to see what I have left of me. Quite frankly, I want to see if my brain can start doing some pro divisions and maybe play my age. We'll see what happens. I'm not going anywhere soon. I still have really nice hairdo like yours, so I got to show it off.
Well, Coach Mike, another great show. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, you've been fantastic, Jeff. Thank you again.
Coach Mike Stewart with Paddle Up Pickleball. Why don't you tell everyone the best way to get in touch with you if they want training in person over on the East Coast, if they want video training, you're there for them to help them out.
Yeah, so Paddle Up Pickleball does video training. I have a lot of people that send me in their videos to help them with their game. I am on the East Coast of Florida, straight across from Ryan. I'm in the Port St. Lucie area, and we will be getting much more technical, and there'll be numbers on the screen. But if you want to write it down, it's 772-877-1370. And for older folks like me, 772-877-1370.
All right, Coach Mike, thank you so much.
Jeff, I look forward to seeing you soon. Again, happy Father's Day.
Sounds great.
You guys, be safe. Paddles up. Paddle Up Pickleball. See you, Jeff. Have a great night. Thank you.
You too. Thanks, Coach.